What is up guys, Andy Forrest Team Runner here. Welcome back to another video, and finally I'm giving you guys my first impressions of the Nike ALPHAFLY. There we go, finally, first run done in the Nike ALPHAFLY. Super excited to finally try these out. I'm thinking like it's nearly been 2 years since these things have been released, but I got my hands on a pair before Christmas or just after Christmas, and I now feel comfortable with the injury that I've recently had to finally test these out. 1 hour, moderate pace today, very similar to what we did in the Street Fights last week. So happy to give you guys my first impressions, but as always further testing is required and will be happening. Make sure you stick around to the channel, stay tuned, subscribe, do all that good stuff. What we're going to do today, as always with our first impressions, is go through my feedback, but first, as always, we'll go through the technical overview of this shoe. If you're excited for today, make sure you give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and we'll start with the tech. Kickstart by saying I went true to size in this shoe, UK size 13, as I do in every other Nike shoe and most other shoes, and I have to say it fits perfectly. So no issues with sizing, true to size is what you can go for in this thing. Weight wise, 305, 306 grams, around 10.8 ounces. Now in terms of stack height, this is an interesting one. It's a 4mm heel to toe drop, which means from the heel to the toe there's a 4mm slant. In terms of specifics in my size, I do not know. I know that this is on the edge of the legal limit, 40mm stack height, I believe in the heel, or 39, and I think it's 39 and 35 or 40 and 36. However, that's in whatever they state the shoe size has to be legal in, and I think that is like a UK 8 or a 9. Don't quote me on it, someone in the comments will confirm what that is. But as the sizes get bigger, so the foam can get bigger with the sizes, so my foam stack height is going to be bigger than that. I don't know specifics, all I can tell you is it's a 4mm heel to toe drop. And as always, we'll work our way from our heel counter in and around the ankle collar, the tongue, the upper lacing, midsole, and then the outsole. This is a very simplistic shoe. I don't anticipate this section taking very long. This is all atom knit and fly knit. Let me break this down for you. So in and around the heel counter area, you can see we have, I think it's called like a booty fit style construction, where you literally, the tongue is attached to the upper. It's all woven into one piece of material, and yeah, it just slips on your foot nicely. In terms of stability at the back, very similar kind of what I was testing to the Street Fight last week. Just a little bit of structure. You guys can see with the light shining right through here where the structure is. I think if I try and pinch it like that, you can see there's a bit of structure there, which goes all the way around here and all the way around to the back here. So this just adds a little bit of something to the heel counter. Other than that, you can see right through this atom knit upper, bar this little bit around the toe guard here at the end. So this is very lightweight material, which means the heftiness of the weight in this shoe compared to other racing shoes I have all comes in to this midsole. This upper is super lightweight. Now this is all atom knit. This tongue is fly knit. And that's because this tongue is a little bit stretchier. Can you see, if I hold the camera there, you can see how the difference in material is around here, then to around this tongue. You can see the difference. They use two different materials there. And this is super stretchy, easy to get your foot in and out of. The Atom Knit isn't quite as stretchy as a fly knit, that's why they've done that. And I got a really good lockdown, I have to be honest with you. Again, just like most Nike racing shoes, we have that bumper padding in and around the back there. So again, that is nice and comfortable. And I've got quite a decent lockdown. The one thing I do sometimes struggle with these style shoes, with this lacing system, is to kind of pull things tight. Surprisingly, it didn't come loose, it didn't work loose. I didn't feel like I got the most lockdown fit in this shoe, I've got to be honest with you, but it didn't actually cause any issues, nor did it come loose during. These laces I really rated actually. For me, I tested them out in the Next Percent version 2. They kind of have these little grooves along them, so that when you kind of yank them together, they kind of bite together. They kind of, it feels like a little bit of an anti-slip type of mechanism they're trying to put into the laces there, and it works quite well. I've got to say, once I laced it up, and I find it in the Next Percent 2s, when you lace them up, you're locked in, and that's how I found. So yeah, lockdown, it wasn't particularly secure, but at the same time it didn't come loose. So that's something to bear in mind with these type, or this shoe in particular. I think especially if you've got a narrow shoe, like my foot filled this shoe. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. I think if you've got a narrow foot and there's a lot of excess material, I don't know, comment down below. This shoe's been out for a while, so some of you guys will be able to comment on that type of fit. But overall, got to be honest with you, it was comfortable and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, I have to say. In terms of the midsole, you've got a whole slab of Zoom X going all the way along there. Of course, we have that carbon fibre plate running all the way through. You know what you're going to get with Zoom X foam, super soft, super bouncy, super cushioned. We'll talk more about that in a minute. I did actually really enjoy it and I am quite surprised. We've got these AirPods as well at the bottom here, just to add a little bit of bounce, and you really do feel like you're bouncing down the road in these things. They're like moon boots. It's unbelievable. So this volume of Zoom X, this carbon plate, and these two AirPods at the bottom here just create this sink and bounce like I've never experienced before. That's how I describe the Next Percent, but this really takes it to the next level. But do you know what? I enjoyed it, I have to say I enjoyed it. And then we've got outsole traction. Start at the back here, we've got a couple of bits here and here, which is quite similar to what they've put in the Street Fly in the Next Percent. They do kind of put a little bit more firmer rubber outsole just on these two back left and right areas. Exposed midsole in this bit here, and then we've got this rubber grip here on the top to give you some good traction. And I have to say, a big thumbs up in this shoe for the traction and actually the cornering as well. I felt very stable in this shoe. So in terms of technicalities, that's it. So how did I find this shoe? First impressions, what were my thoughts when running in this shoe? Well, let me first start off by saying I approach this with a lot of skepticism. If you haven't seen my Tempo Next Percent videos, I highly recommend you go and watch them. I don't ever recommend my own videos because I hate listening and watching my videos back. But I do laugh when I go back and watch the Tempo Next Percent videos, because I was brutally honest and I really did not like that shoe. They felt mushy, they felt too soft, I just could not get going in those shoes. They did not feel fast in the slightest. And so many people said to me, you've got to try the Alphaflys, they're totally different. The plate makes it a different shoe, because I felt there was some kind of composite or nylon plate in the Tempo Next Percent and I felt nothing. I just felt like, what is even in here? You were just completely sinking with no spring back. And this plate makes the world of difference. You guys that commented and told me that, you're right, it does make the world of difference. I'm not saying that this is like my favourite racing shoe, we're going to get into that now, but I'm saying it is different. So if you guys experience the same as me with the Tempo Next Percent, I have to say, and I have to agree with other people, rest assured, this does feel a lot different from the Tempo Next. That being said, it's not all rosy and I've got some genuinely honest feedback for you, but I have to say, it's a thumbs up from me. I did enjoy it. I really did enjoy it. To summarise it in a nutshell, just like how you guys summarise it to me with the New Balance RC Elite version 2, this is going to be a great long run workout shoe. Is it going to be a racing shoe? I just don't know. I think that completely encompasses how I feel about this shoe. I feel like the cushion level, the comfort, my legs do not feel like they've run today at all. Like, I can see why people go to these things and use them a lot in training. They just completely save your legs. I ran 6:39 per mile today on my moderate pace, which is a bit quicker than what I should have been, and my heart rate was 151. I try and keep my moderate heart rates between 148 and 153, so I was bang in the middle of that sweet spot. Coming back from an injury, not running for 4 weeks, a bit of easy running week in there, and then having to have another week off and slowly coming back into it. I surprised myself today when I uploaded it to Strava, because I don't look at my heart rate when I'm running. When I uploaded it to Strava and saw 151 average, I was like, wow. I was really surprised. And that, I guess, is what this shoe does best. It conserves energy. It makes things more effortless. And I have to be honest with you, when I go out there on my moderate runs, I run to feel. And that pace today felt good. So again, a massive thumbs up. Would I race in it though? Let's get into that, because I think that's where the crux of this shoe comes into me. And again, I'll say it like I did last week with the Streak Fly. I just think Nike have produced such a good shoe in terms of the next percent that everything else they create just doesn't quite come close to that shoe, for whatever reason it might be. You know, I've run a couple of 2 or 3 marathons, or a couple of marathons now in the next percent. I mean, could I see myself choosing this thing? I think I could potentially for the weight saving, but I do feel like I'm running in moon boots. I don't have that light, smooth feeling that I get in the next percent. As I said, the next percent in this is very much a sink and bounce. Saucony Endorphin Pros, you know, like roll and pop. It's just a completely different feeling. But this completely takes the whole sink and bounce feeling to another level. And I don't know if I would have, I can imagine, and I haven't got that far yet, and a couple of you have said this in the comments before, and I completely understand where you're coming from. I can imagine when you get tired in a marathon, these might start to feel relatively weighty. I mean, you've got to remember, 306 grams in my size, 10.8 ounces. We're talking a big old jump from the next percent. I think it might even be a couple of ounces bigger. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm sure the next percent is like, oh no, maybe an ounce and a half, is like low 9s, I think, or 8 something, I can't remember. So it's a big old difference, and I can imagine when you get tired that must play a factor in pace dropping. So, you know, more testing is required. I think there's going to have to be a long run test in this. Not sure when, but there's going to be a long run test. The other thing to bear in mind, loads of you mentioned it, and a lot of you have had to send the shoe back because of it, is this midsole overhang. This shoe right here has literally held the molding of my foot, and you can see, right, how much your foot overhangs. My foot was bulging out this much. If you wind this video back to the front bit of B-roll when I'm lacing up my shoes, and that one when you see the inside of my foot, you can see just how much my foot overhangs here. A lot of you guys highlighted it, and yet mine does as well. It didn't cause me any issues. I didn't notice it, I didn't feel it, and I actually didn't even notice it when I was running. Like, it didn't cause any issues, and I felt really comfortable in the shoe. I had no pains, nothing at all. So again, I don't know how that will play out over a longer distance. Will that become a factor? I just don't know. But I know a lot of you guys have had to send yours back because for that very reason. So I'm kind of in a position now where I've tested this and gone, all right, I can't even speak. Tempo next percent is out of my head now. I enjoyed this. I'll give it a thumbs up. I would give it like a 7.5 out of 10. I was pleasantly surprised, and I'm really happy because I only spent half price, £135 to get these. So for me, worth the money. Would I spend 270 on them? No way. And right now, as of right now, would I race in them? I'd still choose the next percents. I genuinely would still choose the next percents, but I haven't done a good old long run. I think a good old 20-mile long run is due in this at some decent moderate pace to really find out how it feels towards those latter miles, that latter stage, and see if it still feels as good. Who knows, I might end up trying it for a marathon at some point. But for me at the moment, I would still choose the next percent. Would I choose it for any other distance? No way. I can't even imagine slipping this thing on for a half marathon or a 10K, to be honest, over the next percent. No way. Just not genuinely giving you my honest feedback, no way. This is purely for me. I'm just looking at this from a marathon racing perspective. So I think at some point I might end up racing a marathon in it. I might give it a go. And of course, we've got the ALPHAFLY 2 coming out at some point this year, probably. So who knows, I might get that one and try that one, and we'll see if there's any progress on that. But at the moment, just from that moderate run this morning, I think I'm going to say in a short and sweet summary, a big thumbs up, 7.5 out of 10. Really happy with it. Feels like you're running in moon boots. No issues with this overhang here. Not 100% sure how I feel about picking up the pace in it. I'm going to have to do some kind of pacey workout in it, some marathon pace stuff. That will be the next test. And then, of course, some long run testing. So as of right now, I wouldn't swap it out for the Vaporfly, but just like the New Balance RC Elite 2, for all of you that guys have said it, a really good long run workout shoe, a really good long run shoe, saves the legs, feels good, but I wouldn't quite race in it yet. So those are my initial thoughts on the ALPHAFLY. I'm really happy that I've tested 2 Nike shoes that I've actually enjoyed. You know, if you've seen other Nike shoes that I've reviewed, you know they're so hit and miss. Some of them I really hate, some of them I enjoy. So this one gets a thumbs up from me. More testing required as always. And as I said, make sure you stick around to the channel for that sort of testing. I'm sure I'll get another test out there either this week or next week, whatever that might be, some marathon pace work. We'll see how we go. If you enjoyed today's video, guys, make sure you give it a like. Do leave your comments down below, because I know so many of you have tested this shoe. Let's get that discussion going. Let's get that feedback. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Is it a bit Marmite? Let's find out what you guys think. Share this video with your friends, please. Subscribe to the channel for weekly running content. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Until then.